Wahoo, hey, welcome to the Bike Lab today. Okay, so in the last video I did, I said, bummer, I have to go in for surgery and have the hip prosthetic I had put in a couple years ago redone. So anyway, that surgery happened. I went in, they cut off my leg, put it back on. Not exactly. Actually, they opened up the hip, took the stem, neck, and ball out from the old prosthetic, put a new stem, neck, and ball in, and surgery is done, and I'm in recovery mode. So in the first couple of weeks after recovery, what they're telling me is the most important thing is to get over the general anesthetic. General anesthetic does all sorts of crazy things to you, and you got to take getting over that pretty seriously. The other thing they want me doing is they want me up and moving and walking, which is working out pretty well. The day after surgery, they got me up walking, and I was able to walk around with no walker, no crutch, no cane, just walking around with the help of all the people who were there, the nurse and my wife and the occupational therapist and the physical therapist. They all got me up walking, and it was great. They taught me how to do things that I need to do at home, like get into the shower, like get into a car, like put some clothes on. So that was great. The pain has not been very much, and that's good and bad. The good about that is obvious. The pain is not very much, which is fantastic. But because the pain is not very strong, but I'm fairly strong because I'm fit from all the stuff I was doing, I have to be really careful of this hip joint. I could do damage to the hip joint in the first several weeks as everything is trying to recover. The hip joint is really held together a lot by the musculature and the soft tissue around the hip joint, and all of the musculature, soft tissue stuff has been stressed and stretched and detached and reattached, and it is not super excited about holding things in place. So I have to be careful and really follow the instructions of the physical therapist, and so that's what I'm doing. So what the physical therapist wants me to do is get up and walk 3 times a day and do some pretty simple physical therapy exercises 3 times a day. But in addition to that, I talked with the physical therapist about how I can do other exercises to make sure that I keep my shoulders and my core and other parts of my body still feeling good while I'm recovering. And I want to say that I think it's really, really important to talk to your medical providers about the whole you. You've had a surgery on your hip or your ankle, your knee or something like that, and they're all really focused on taking care of that part of your body that you just had worked on. But there's the whole you that also needs to be cared for. And you might think, well, I can do all of these other exercises because they don't have anything to do with that part of my body that I just had worked on. So you might be wrong. You might find out that there's things you'd like to do that you can't do, and things that you thought you couldn't do that maybe you could do. So it's really important to talk about the whole you with your medical providers and then follow those instructions. So I had that conversation with my physical therapist, and there were some things that they were adamant I should not do. Anything that has to do with the stability of the hip, they just want me to do the simple exercises they have me doing, so I'm not stressing that joint too much. So they said it would be okay if I did shoulder flies, shrugs, if I do some crunches, as long as I'm only doing upper abdominal crunches so that I'm not engaging the lower abs or the hip flexors, because we want to not stress that hip. And it's okay if I do Superman exercises, which is lying on your stomach and lifting your feet and your shoulders off the ground, except that the feet have to stay on the ground. The hips have to stay on the ground, just lifting the shoulders off the ground. And those things are all okay because the hips are staying stabilized and we're not stressing the hips. So they gave me some other things that I could do, and I can move forward trying to take care of the whole me. And that's what I get to do. If you've had hip surgery or you've had some other surgery, they may tell you you can't do any of that stuff. Talk to your medical provider about the whole you, see what you can do and when you can do those things. So that's where I am right now, and then going to be moving forward with my training program for getting over this surgery and getting back into the activities that I want to be doing, and I'm going to be talking about those things. And you can come along with me, and I expect that I'm going to get back into full fitness. If you're in a position where you'd like to be getting into full fitness, come along with me. If you like this, subscribe, share, like. See you next time.